In this video, you'll learn 3 subtle things that you're doing that are robbing you of your time and energy, moving you away from what you want in life, moving you away from your goals, from the people you want to attract into your life, from being more productive, and living a happy and engaged life. At the end of the video, I'm going to give you an exercise that once you complete it, this will save you hundreds of hours over the next 3 months. Hundreds of hours. Now, I don't just say that to get you to watch the video. Obviously, that's a part of it. I want you to be fully invested in watching this and pay attention. But I really mean it. If you watch this video and you apply what you learn, you are going to save hundreds of hours. Now, just think about that for a moment. What could you do with hundreds of freed up hours? In the next 3 months, you could spend it learning a new skill, making more money, cultivating new relationships. You could spend it growing spiritually. You could literally change your entire life over the next 3 months by freeing this amount of time. So I just want you to know the stakes here. I want you to know what you could achieve. So here are 3 sneaky ways that you unconsciously waste time. Time waster number 1, living in the gray zone. I want you to think of the last hour. What were you doing? Were you fully focused and engaged, working and creating value for yourself and for the world around you, putting your attention somewhere very intentionally and deliberately? Or were you kind of half working, half daydreaming? Maybe you were checking your phone every 5 minutes or so. You were trying to multitask a bunch of different things. You were kind of trying to be productive, but you didn't really do much. Most people live in that latter state. And that's what I call the gray zone. So if you've ever had a day where you felt busy, you really felt busy, but you didn't actually get anything done, then you've been in the gray zone. So this is that state where you're not really being productive, you're not really working towards your goals, but you're also not actually truly resting or recharging. You're in the gray zone. It often leaves us feeling less focused, less fulfilled, less happy, less engaged. So the way I see it, in any given moment, there are only really 3 things that we should be doing with our time. Number 1 is creating value, both for ourselves and for the world around us, being productive. The second thing we should be doing is relaxation and recharging and recreation. This is going on an adventure outside, doing something that's completely disconnected from our work, socializing, having a deep, meaningful conversation, etc., etc. And third, personal growth, working on ourselves, making ourselves stronger, developing ourselves. So in any given moment, we should really only be doing one of these 3 things. And if an activity that you're doing doesn't fall into one of these categories, then it's probably a part of the gray zone, and you should stop doing it because it's wasting your time and energy. I'm going to give you some examples of the gray zone here. Firstly, we have checking notifications, text messages, DMs, email constantly, being on this loop where you're always checking. Online shopping, arguing, debating with someone, either in person or online. Multitasking. These are just a few examples. Right there, I'm sure you can think of many other examples that don't really fall into the category of creating value or the category of relaxation or the category of personal growth. So obviously, the solution here is to stop living from the gray zone. Whenever you notice yourself living from the gray zone, notice that and then make a choice. What is it that you really want to do in that moment? Do you want to be productive? Do you want to get work done? Do you want to relax and recharge fully? Or do you want to work on yourself, develop yourself? Time waster number 2, online black holes. Most content online is designed like candy, right? Algorithms, clickbait, endless streams of this bite-sized distraction are crafted to give you that hit of satisfaction, just like a candy bar, which pull you in, they get you addicted, and you don't even notice how you waste hours and hours of your time down these black holes. Now, a lot of this stuff online, they trigger strong emotional responses within us, whether that's fear or excitement or curiosity or anxiety, fear of missing out. And when you're in one of these emotional states, it's very hard to think rationally. And so you stay glued to that thing that's giving you that emotional hit. And this is what keeps us hooked. Right? And the result of all this is that you end up spending hours upon hours mindlessly clicking from one thing to the next without any real focus or purpose behind your surfing. This is a huge time waster. Most millennials and Gen Z folk, we waste so much time online. It's ridiculous. It's so bad. And it's only getting worse as technology and algorithms get more and more powerful. We need to really be aware of this and learn to guard our attention. Time waster number 3, chasing instant gratification. Now this one kind of wraps everything together. Choosing immediate satisfaction instead of working towards long-term goals is a losing game. When you give in to instant rewards, you train your brain to seek out quick dopamine hits, which makes it harder and harder over time to delay gratification. Right? Essentially, we're training our brains to want to get like hits of gratification and achievement right away. Right? Through video games, through social media, through all kinds of stuff, junk food, etc., etc. Now, the more you choose quick pleasures, the more your brain starts to crave it, which creates this habit loop that reinforces short-term behavior over long-term thinking. Some examples of instant gratification: binge watching TV shows, doom scrolling on social media or just online, dating apps, video games, impulsive snacking, gossip. These are all examples of chasing instant gratification. We can waste a lot of time on these kinds of things, and ultimately, they don't help us become stronger. They don't help us achieve our goals, attract more people into our life, become more productive, become happier. They do none of these things. In fact, they take away from these things. Now, I'm not saying all these things are evil or that you should 100% avoid them all the time, 24/7. What I'm saying is that these are very slippery slopes. It's very easy to get hooked on these things. It's very easy to get hooked on this mindset of quickly chasing that next hit of pleasure without actually working towards anything long term. And if you start training your brain too much to just seek out instant gratification, over time this ruins your ability to do hard work, to be patient, and create long-term big results that ultimately lead to the things that you really want in your life. Now, before we move forward, I just want to say great work. Good job actually listening through, paying attention. This is not easy stuff to take in, right? A lot of people would have clicked off by now because it's uncomfortable to face this. This is like our shadow. So good job. What we're going to do next is we're going to go into the exercise that I promised you at the beginning of the video. This exercise, if you do it now and you keep doing it for the next few months, this will completely transform the way that you spend your time. You'll become much more productive, you'll become much more focused, and you'll save hundreds of hours. Again, that's my promise. So here's my challenge for you. Firstly, I'd like you to look at the 3 time wasters that we just covered, and I'd like you to ask yourself, what's your biggest culprit? What's the biggest time waster from these 3? Next, I'd like you to write it down. I'd like you to write it down on a piece of paper, preferably if you have Post-it notes, write it down on a Post-it note and stick it somewhere where you can see it daily. Good places for this are like the bathroom mirror or your front door or somewhere near your bed where you see it first thing in the morning. Now, you want to do this because it's very easy to forget. Don't underestimate your mind's ability to forget important stuff. You have a bit of awareness now. You're aware of the ways that you subtly waste your time. Now I would like you to make sure that you don't forget. Right? You keep this awareness going forward. So write it down, stick it somewhere where you see it daily. And over the next week and going forward, I'd like you to watch yourself as you go along, go about your day. And when you notice yourself doing one of these time wasters, notice that and stop doing it as soon as you notice. As soon as you notice that, oh, I'm wasting time on an online black hole, or I'm wasting time seeking instant gratification, I'm wasting time in the gray zone, I want you to notice that and then stop what you're doing and decide then and there what your focus should be, what you really want to spend your time doing right now. Now, this is a very simple exercise, but I don't want you to underestimate how challenging it is to notice yourself when you're doing something and then actually stop doing it. Okay? It's not easy, but at the end of the day, it's very simple. When you notice yourself doing a time waster that we just covered, just stop doing it. Just stop doing it. You are in control at the end of the day. You don't need some fancy trick here. Just stop doing it. Okay. That's the challenge. Good luck with it. If you found this video helpful, make sure to click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Take care.